I haven't looked at my writing goals in a really long time. I set these back in January, and I think I remember what some of them are, but honestly, I really have no idea what I said. And seeing as all of these writing goals that I've made were about revising my novel, and I'm so close to the end, I wanted to take a moment to just sit down, look at what I wanted to accomplish, and see how close I am and whether or not there's still time to go back on track and do some of the things that I wanted to do. I mean, who knows? Maybe I've done all of them so far. That would be great. But if you're new here, my name is Josie. Welcome to my writing channel. And these goals are specific to the thriller novel that I'm currently writing. It is a mountaineering revenge story. I started writing it last October-ish, and I set some goals for the fall as I was writing that first draft. And then starting in January, I did the first round of revision, and then I did a draft 2 and a draft 3, and now we're kind of on a draft 3.5 as I'm tackling some beta reader feedback edits. But we are really close. I feel like I'm nearing the finish line. So I figured now's a perfect time to think about what I've accomplished as well as the goals I have for it moving forward, because I'd love to query this book, hopefully in the near future. So before we go any farther, I'm going to pull up the goals and we're going to go through the old ones and then we're going to make some new ones. So 2025 is going to be really busy for me. I am going to be hopefully finishing my PhD this summer, defending sometime in mid to late summer. I defended on August 1st and I passed. I'm now considered a doctor, but I can't give any medical advice. It's in oceanography. So that's going to take up a lot of time, but as soon as that happens, I don't really know where I'm going to be next. And there's this huge question mark. There's a lot of things to decide. So I would really like for this revision process to be done before I leave Alaska, before I go on to my next adventure, just to be able to close that. And because even though a first draft, it's easy to say when you're done, revision is almost more of a feeling of I've done everything I can. Now I'm just changing the story. I'm not making it better. And so it'll be a lot easier if in my mind I can just say, I'm done, it's clear, it's over, rather than having these loose strings that I then have to find the motivation for as I'm moving to a new place, as I'm figuring out what my new life looks like. So first goal, finish the revision by, let's say, end of August. So that gives me exactly 8 months to do this. So we are right on track. I literally think I have one more round of revision to get there, and it is August 4th when I'm filming this, so we are definitely able to do that. And I think it still stands where I'm leaving at the end of the month, beginning of September, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of traveling in the fall, which we'll have to talk about a little bit how that changes maybe the goals setting after this. It really would be good to try and get this book and then also maybe send out some queries, but I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. But so far, we have accomplished goal 1. My second goal will be to not get distracted by having a bunch of things I'm focusing on simultaneously, because I feel like that just starts to overwhelm me. It really slows me down in revision because I'm trying to do 10 different things all at once, so it takes much longer to get through a chapter. And so it just kind of halts. Okay, so I know what I'm trying to get at here, and I don't think I quite accomplished this one. It's kind of too late also to accomplish it. But essentially what I was getting at is that in each draft, having a couple things to focus on rather than try and tackle a bunch of things at once, because I have in the past just overwhelmed myself by trying to get a bunch done in one draft. And sure enough, I did that again with this round of revisions. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I still feel like I got to the end. So the reason for not doing that wasn't really needed in this case. But yeah, technically I didn't really accomplish this and I don't think I will, but that's fine. My third goal is not going to be a surprise, but it is to make more challenge type fun videos while I'm doing revision. I've been making a list of a lot of the challenges I've seen other people do So this is something I was really excited to do. It's honestly one of the reasons I feel like I started this channel was because I see all these other people doing fun writing videos and I just want to get in on it, and it feels a little silly to do it by yourself without actually filming it or anything. But I guess you could do that too. Anyways, that's besides the point. But I think I really accomplished this. I was trying to push myself to do lots of different fun videos in the last 8 months. I did some writing routine videos. I feel like I've done more. I don't know. I'm gonna put the thumbnails up, but this point, I think other than the writing routine videos, I can't really think of what I've been doing, but I have done some. Yeah, it's been a good time. So those are all of my goals. It was just three. Finish the book by August, which I'm currently about to hopefully finish. Then it was the focus on each draft, which I didn't really do, but I did get to the end of the revisions and I did take 2 drafts to get there. And then for the third one, it was fun videos. So that actually wasn't very hard. No wonder I didn't remember them. There wasn't much to remember. But now we have to start thinking about goals for the future because I'm about to finish this book and querying is really intimidating. And I think that setting myself goals would be really helpful. First goal I'm going to set is querying, where by the time I leave Alaska, so I've got like 3 or 4 weeks, I think, I want to have sent out 10 query letters. I mean, it's not going to be that hard. Sending out 1 versus 10, like all the material is going to be prepped, but I think it would be good to just send out a handful, see what comes of it, because I don't know how much I'll be able to send when I'm traveling. So, speaking of that, basically in the fall, I'm finally taking a long break after having gone through high school, then undergrad, then a master's and a PhD. Like, I have not taken a break and I need one. I feel so burnt out by academia. And so I'm planning to take like all of the fall off basically and do a big bike trip through Europe. And I'm really, really excited to do that. But it just means that there's not going to be a lot of availability for me to like sit on a computer. Like I'm going to maybe bring my tablet, but it's not as easy for me to do that. So getting 10 sent out would be good. But I want to make sure that I don't give up because I think that's when I start getting rejection. That's when I could be like, oh, I don't really feel like sending out query letters, but I need to. So, to accompany that first goal, I'm going to say that I cannot give up querying until I reach 100 query letters sent. If I get rejected 100 times, then I can take a break, then I can stop, then I can revisit what I want to do. But until then, I need to keep pushing. And then after this, like the mountaineering book is done, right? Like it's written, I'll have sent out query letters, there's not much I can do there. So I'm starting to think about what I want to do next. And I think I want to just take it easy. Like for the last 5 years, I've gone in this cycle where in the fall, I start a new draft, I finish editing it by the following fall, and then it's just this cycle that keeps going. And I always have to pick the next thriller I want to write. And I do a pretty decent amount of outlining just because I like to have that direction, especially when you've got like mystery and red herrings and stuff involved. But I feel like I want to take a step back, especially because I won't be able to be so hyper focused the way I have when I'm like living in a home and have that stability when I'm traveling. Because honestly, I'd like to try and get some writing done while I'm traveling too. So I think I'm gonna also set a near and a further goal as well. Of my near goal is I have a couple of trips left in Alaska before I go, and I want to try and take my tablet with me and see if I can find a way to write that is like productive and like I have fun with it while I'm doing those trips. Try to get some writing done on those trips with the tablet and see and test out what the best writing method is. And then while I'm on my bike trip, I want to give myself just the liberty and the freedom to just write whatever. I've been thinking about a lot of different projects of what I want to do next. Like this fantasy series I've been wanting to write for most of my life, and it's going to be a lot of work, and I've talked in length before, so I won't go too far into it now, but just like I want to write this whether or not it ever gets published. Like this is something that I am really passionate about, and it's about time I get started on it because, time flies. So, either doing that or tackling another thriller because I've got a bunch of thriller ideas. I also have a romance book idea that's like a little bit, I don't know if you call it paranormal or like low fantasy, but it's like fantasy set in the real world, a little bit of like a whimsical kind of thing. So just to say that I don't really know what I'm going to write next, but I want to try and get some writing done on the bike trip if it's not too exhausting. But again, it's hard to make goals when I really have no idea what I'm doing. But another thing I've been really proud of, and I didn't set it as a goal in January, but it had been a goal that I'd set back when I first started the channel in like October of last year, maybe it was September, where I was trying to do weekly videos. And I think that I should be really proud of the fact that I have made weekly videos for almost a year now. So since I started, I have posted a video on Thursday every single week for so many weeks. And it was something that I was putting a bit of as a challenge to myself. And I don't know that that'll be the same moving forward with this bike trip. I think that there won't be as much time to make videos, so I'd rather go for quality more than quantity. I mean, maybe I will try and do weekly videos even when I'm biking. I have no idea, but um, just trying to maintain maybe a couple of videos. So, okay, my third goal is to do maybe at least a couple videos on the bike trip, but I'm not going to hold myself too strict to anything because I just want to be able to enjoy it. It's my time off. It's kind of hard to set goals when I really don't know what the future will hold. But I think the big one will be just the querying goals and really trying to get queries out. If I was living in a home and had like a regular schedule, I'd try to set a goal of like sending a certain amount of query letters out each week just to hold myself accountable. But I think with this bike trip, there's just so much up in the air. I don't really know. So I think we're just gonna set this for now, and then when I'm back, maybe in December or January, we're gonna revisit all of this and come up with a game plan for 2026. Dang, I can't believe I feel like 2025 went by so fast. And most of it is just because there's still a lot left, but it just feels like it's already booked up with all this stuff. Thank you for sitting down with me. I feel a little bit more focused now that I have these new goals, but there's still a lot of uncertainty out there. But I'll see you in the next video.